Does everyone have a father wound?
Your relationship with money is a lot of times mirroring your relationship with the masculine. When I healed my father wound, I made way more money. This is the weirdest fucking thing ever, but I think you were my dad in a past life.
Hello, my little earth angels. Before we get into this episode, I have a quick announcement about my next Joshua Tree retreat, which is called Meeting the Divine in the Desert. I know you guys know I'm obsessed with retreats. I love going on retreats. I love hosting them, but this one is extra special. My Joshua Tree retreats are truly spaces where my clients quantum leap into their next level, their next timeline. And so I'm inviting you to come. There's 3 spaces left, and the dates are September 29th through October 3rd, so just about 4 months away. What you can expect during this retreat is a sacred ceremony. We'll have a full integration day. Every day we do a group morning meditation, and then we do a group cold plunge with a hot tub time. It's literally so fun. We have a cacao ceremony. We have lots of creative flow time for creating content in the desert or even journaling or resting. I bring a private chef where we have family style feasts for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I also have my photographer give you a higher self photo shoot on the very last day to capture your glow up. We'll have live 7D energy healing as well as 3 workshops led by me. If you're interested in joining us, I would love to have you. Just book a clarity call with the link below and we'll hop on a call, go over the details, and maybe I get to hug you and hang out in Joshua Tree. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the episode.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Alignment Academy. It's your host, Kristen. My co-host, Ari, is here.
Hi.
And if you are new to Alignment Academy, I just want to give you a warm welcome. This is a school for your soul to grow and evolve. We talk about all things entrepreneurship, spirituality, personal growth, mindset, and really the intersection between all of them. I'm a big believer that the more you grow, the more fulfilled you're going to be, the more you grow in your career, the more you grow in your relationships, because really you're the mirror that's putting everything out into the world, and the world is mirroring everything that you believe about yourself back to you. So that's a little bit about what we're talking about on Alignment Academy. And if you just stumbled here, I want to say it is not by accident. The amount of DMs that I get on a daily basis that are like, Kristen, I don't know what happened, but your podcast just started playing and it was the exact thing that I needed to hear. And I'm like, oh, I know exactly what happened. Your spirit guides knew exactly what you needed and served you the content. So you're welcome. Today, we are actually going to be talking about something that I always get so many questions on. Honestly, I don't really think that there's that much content on the internet on this, but we're going to be talking about the intersection and the relationship between the father wound and security and money and career.
This is a big one.
This is
like a
one.
really big one.
I've never done an episode on this. So full transparency, the father wound is one of the 7 core wounds that I cover in my signature program, Inner Work Alchemy. Inner Work Alchemy is something that I run about 4 times a year, and it's my 8-week inner work program for leaders who want to do the deep inner work and heal their shit so that they can stop self-sabotaging and attract more love, money, visibility, and just become more magnetic. Now, I want to do a little backstory on why I created this program, and then we're going to go to the father wound because it's going to make sense. Just stick with me. I always tell my clients, like, Inner Work Alchemy is a manifestation program in disguise. It's not a manifestation program, it's an inner work program, but it's a manifestation program in disguise. And the reason it's a manifestation program is because in order for you to get what you want, you have to feel worthy and deserving of it. The thing that holds you down from feeling worthy and deserving of what you desire is basically, it's like your core frequency. It's your vibrational average. Now, your vibrational average, what is this thing? It's basically at any given moment, if I'm going to call Ari up on any given day randomly, she's going to be at an average of how she feels about herself, of how she feels about her body, how much money she's making, how she's doing in the mail department, how her romantic life is going, how her friendships are going. That's like your average, right? So if you want to know where your vibrational average is, your frequency is what you frequently see in your life, right? So for you, it's like, are you always getting ghosted? Like, are your friends always treating you like shit? Are you always having issues with your family? Like, those are the things that you can start to read the patterns of, and you can start to change your own patterns in order to get new reflections.
Love that.
So, Inner Work Alchemy, core wounds. why are we covering core wounds? Because in order for you to get what you want, I wanted to cover the things that are holding people back. So father wound, friendship wound, perfectionism, procrastination, inner child, shadow. These are all the things that I cover because as you heal the density is your limiting beliefs and your trauma. As you clear that, your core frequency, your vibrational average raises, so you get the best of everything. It's like you're not just trying to manifest one thing. It's like you want a life that is so synchronistic, so kismet. Everything is just unfolding as this beautiful, like, wow, I can't even believe that this is happening to me, right? And we do that by healing our core frequency through inner child and shadow work. That was a long-winded way of saying, welcome to the father wound. So basically,
I'm so ready for this.
okay.
I'm so ready.
And Ari, you can ask me questions about it, but like I'm just gonna get into it because I feel like I've just
Keep
have
going.
a lot to
Keep
say.
going. No. This is good. I like when she does this.
Okay, beautiful. So the father wound is an inner child wound that forms when your father figure was emotionally absent, physically absent, or absent in some way. Just to give you an idea, you might have the father wound if you have a bad relationship with money, if you have a bad relationship with authority, if you are always attracting men that don't want to commit to you, if you are attracting emotionally avoidant men, if you are really codependent. Like there's a lot of things, like just search father wound on Google and you'll be like, okay, yeah, that checks out. So there's a lot of different reasons that you might have a father wound, but the root of it is that when we're younger, our father figure is one of the first people that shows us like what love looks like and what love should act like and how love should treat us. And so if we have a father that was like maybe mentally ill or physically absent or going through a divorce or whatever, then we're going to have a relationship with the masculine. And the masculine is everything that has to do with security. So it's not just men, it's relationship with your work, it's relationship with all men, it's your relationship with money, like anything that your relationship with your house, anything that equals security, that's like the masculine. And so this relationship with your father is going to mirror all of those other relationships.
Question.
Okay.
So you just mentioned love, right? As
Yeah.
being like one of the first things. That as somebody who maybe this is an obvious one, but I'm a little bit confused. Wouldn't love be something that would be primarily from the feminine, from your mom?
So think about it. So it is interesting because the way I teach in Inner Work Alchemy too is like the father wound will manifest different in men than in women.
Yeah.
So right now I'm speaking from a woman's standpoint and the opposite sex.
Okay.
So it's the opposite sex. So it's your relationship with the opposite sex because typically, in a traditional relationship, that's going to be like your romantic partner. You also want to think of like romantic love. What does that equal? That equals security typically.
Mm-hmm.
Your father is also your source of security when you're younger because you're a child.
Right.
So it always is mirroring like the underlying frequency of security, self-security.
I see. Okay. And then second question is, does everyone have a father wound?
Definitely not. But if you
Okay.
clicked on this podcast episode, then there's probably a reason for it. Like we are talking about the father wound on here. I would say that this is why it's really helpful to learn how to read your patterns. If you're maybe getting reflections in love of people that are, it's like same shit, different body type thing. You're like, God, all these people are like, they all just like don't want to commit or they all work too much or whatever. Like I would look into that. That's probably father wound stuff. There's also mother wound, which, is a whole different wound because our mother teaches us about our relationship with our body, our relationship with ourself, our self-talk. Like that's a whole, other topic. So
That'll be
let me
another
know.
episode.
Yeah, let me know if you guys want the mother wound. But I'm not going to lie unless you have two extremely conscious parents that have done a lot of personal growth on themselves. I would say like most people that I know have either a mother wound or the father wound. Not in the sense where everyone's broken. It's just like the point of this experience, the point of this life is to grow and evolve. And how are we going to do that if we all just have perfect lives?
True.
So I think everyone has like a little bit of either one. And the goal as a soul is to always be coming back into wholeness. Like that's the point that's the point of this existence that God wanted us for, is like he wanted us to forget, to remember that we are whole. And how would we remember or without having a reflection of someone treating us or us feeling less than whole and then finding it within ourselves? This is also why I don't really believe in like quick fixes, like listen to this audio and you're going to manifest $10 million, or like just tap a few things on your face and you're whatever, like all these things are tools that can help you remember. But at the end of the day, I'm a huge believer that like you have to change in order for your life to change, because that's how this vibrational reality works.
If you're enjoying this episode, then I have a quick offer for you. I would love to gift you my free meditation, Release Anxiety and Trust the Universe. And this meditation has been so pivotal for me when I was going through my rock bottom or when I'm going through a moment of uncertainty in my life. And I would love for you to try this meditation out absolutely free. All you have to do is rate the podcast 5 stars, go follow my podcast Instagram page at Alignment Academy Pod on Instagram, and then send me a screenshot of your 5-star rating or review, and I will send you the meditation, no strings attached. I can't wait for you to try it out. And now back to the episode.
So you've mentioned a couple of really good ways that, the father wound can present itself. Are there any other ones that are like maybe a little bit less known?
I think the one that I want to highlight is money. So money is what? It's also security. And your relationship with money is a lot of times mirroring your relationship with the masculine. So here's the nuance of the father wound, is it can manifest in a couple ways. Is one, you become hyper masculine, or two, you become really codependent, depending on how you reacted to however your father treated you. I would say, like, when I healed my father wound, I made way more money because I felt it's the frequency of self-security. And so here's the thing. You can always make money from lack. You can always make money from like an unhealed place, but you're never going to feel whole from those places. Making money and attracting money are two different things to me as well, right? So I made a lot of money before I healed my father wound. I now attract way more money, way more opportunity when I healed my father wound. When I healed my father wound, I attract a lot more money because my core vibration is self-security now. I am self-secure. My security doesn't come from me seeing a number in a bank account. My security doesn't come from a boy choosing me. It doesn't come from somebody asking me on a date. I'm just secure. And so because I'm the frequency of security, I'm going to attract more security in all the ways of friendship, the ways of money, the ways of people who give me that security and like match that level of security within like romantic love, And so it's always going to be, it's like a really deep frequency of like, I don't need this thing to feel good enough. I feel good enough on my own.
So this is kind of a bit of a tangent, but I think for anybody who's listening that is maybe kind of like, okay, we're talking about money, we're talking about father wound, but like attracting money, making money, yes. But then how do you also align that with your masculine energy and then your feminine energy?
When you heal your father wound, I really believe that you're healing a lot of your masculine energy too. When we have a father wound, let's like go one way first. Like let's say you had a father that was like really unavailable and you were always begging for love. So that would actually manifest as you probably being a little codependent in your relationships. You're probably attracting partners where you a little bit have to beg for love. You have to ask for love. You are not in your masculine in that. Like divine union, I kind of fucking hate that word, but you guys get it. Like a really conscious relationship, divine union is actually, I am equally in my masculine and in my feminine, and you are equally in your masculine and in your feminine. And we're actually going to dance between the two masculine and feminine energies, because I might need to be more in my masculine, you be more in your feminine, you be more in your feminine, I be more in my masculine, depending on the day, the hour, the time. Mostly like if you're in a boy-girl relationship, like you're going to want your man to be a little bit more in his masculine and you be in your feminine. But there's going to be moments where your man's crying and you're going to need to hold that space and that security, right? Mm-hmm. And so when I'm teaching to heal this in inner work alchemy, it's actually healing like the inner father within. It's weird.
Okay, no, I was literally that was going to be my next question. Does healing the father wound equate to healing your masculine? But like, I think, could that be misconstrued as becoming more masculine?
No, it's not becoming more masculine. there's also, this is so nuanced. This is why it's like a whole thing in the course. There's also healthy masculine and there's wounded masculine. There's healthy feminine and there's wounded feminine. So somebody could have had a good father, but they could have had like a, maybe an army father or something. And it's like very wounded masculine, like don't show emotion and you don't do this and blah, 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 blah. And so it's always coming back into like the healthy version of the masculine, the healthy version of the feminine. And when you can be that for yourself, you're now going to attract a reflection of that, because this is just a simulation. Like it's an algorithm. It's going to give you what you put out.
Right.
So
Love that.
I'm going to make a quick assumption about you if you listen to Alignment Academy, the podcast, that ever since you were little, you just had this deep feeling that you were meant for big things in this world. You weren't here to be ordinary, but you were here to be a mover and a shaker. Hi, I'm Kristen, and same. Except for years, I was self-sabotaging because even though I felt in my soul that I was here to do extremely big things, I could not stop procrastinating, self-sabotaging, feeling massive amounts of imposter syndrome, and don't forget getting triggered as fuck every single day of my life. And honestly, I didn't know what to do. And then I found inner work. I found energy healing. I found all of the modalities that I still use today. The spiritual tools that I use feel like I found a hack to this universe. Like, the rules don't apply to me because I know how to shift my vibration. I know how to reprogram my subconscious mind. I know how to give myself any beliefs that I want to believe about the world, like money comes easy to me and the rules don't apply to me and I don't need a real job. These are all just beliefs that I believe about myself. If you're similar to me, you know you have a big mission, but you know it's also time to get out of your own way and heal your blocks for good so you can actually just take action on your mission. This is why I created Alignment Academy, the membership. Inside this membership, you are going to get everything from live coaching sessions with me monthly, all of my best-selling heart work meditations and hypnosises. You're going to get all of my energy healing activations to do energy work on yourself anytime you want. Not to mention, as soon as you enroll, you get a library of 9 past masterclasses and 8 on-demand meditations. But the very best part is the people in the community. This is some of the most heart-centered, amazing humans I've ever come in contact with. Honestly, people have made friends in this group. They've met up in person in this group. It's the place to be. This is seriously the only space on the internet that weaves quantum manifestation, inner work, and business to help you quantum leap in your soul's growth and your business growth. If you're serious about healing, getting out of your own way, and taking massive action this year, then join with the link below. See you inside.
Okay, so now you've introed the father wound so well. I feel like I have a really good understanding and like you've painted a really good picture. But now can you talk about the now what? What are the next steps?
So
How do you actually heal this shit?
yeah, you heal it with, it's nuanced, right? Like everyone's manifestation of the father wound is different. Everybody had a different father that wounded them different ways. But the short answer and all the recap of it is that you do inner child work on it. And so that looks like within my program, we do inner child work in a couple ways. Like we'll find some core memories of ways that our father wasn't there for us or didn't give us the love that we desired. So actually in inner work alchemy, I do it 2 ways. So we do like certain memories, rewriting, reparenting. So if you guys are new to that, like reparenting is taking a memory where something happened and made you feel a certain type of way about yourself. And then what happens is that you rewrite the memory in your unconscious mind, because when you're down in your unconscious mind, which is the theta brain waves, your brain doesn't know what's real or what's made up. So this memory, like let's say your dad never went to your soccer games and that made you feel like he doesn't care about you. So now you create a core belief, my dad doesn't care about me. And then it becomes men don't care about me. So then maybe you're in a relationship where they never want to be interested in what you're doing, but you're always like hyper interested in what they're doing because you're begging for their love. Okay. So then this is happening. You get triggered in your current relationship. You realize it's because your dad never came to your soccer games, right? So what would you have needed instead? You probably would have needed a dad that was like cheering you on in the fucking sidelines, had a sign for you, was the biggest fan, was maybe like captain of the PTO team, whatever. Like a dad that was so engaged. And maybe you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, my dad was not that. Maybe you're listening to this and you're like, I can't even imagine my dad being super invested in my life. That is your work. That's your work right there. That's what you needed in order to feel special to men. And so you would go down and you would rewrite that memory of like giving yourself a dad, or even imagining your dad's higher self where he's so loving, so obsessed with you, your biggest fan. I remember, because I have had the father wound, like when I had friends that had dads that were like super invested and like over the top, it would make me uncomfortable. It would make me uncomfortable
Really?
because my dad wasn't like that. You know, like my dad was like the guy that like didn't talk to anyone at my volleyball games and like wasn't really cheering. But like there's dads that are like, you know, let's go. And it would like, I would kind of, I think I was like jealous for sure, but it would make me uncomfortable and I'd be like, oh, you know, I didn't think it was weird or anything. I just like, it would make me triggered a little. And so you can do that. The other way that I teach it is really rewriting your entire childhood with a father figure that showed up differently than how your father acted. So in a lot of my healing with my father wound, what it looked like was, actually, I'm going to tell you guys the craziest fucking story
Wait, tell us.
ever. Okay.
Do I know this?
No, you don't know this. So when I was healing my father wound, like really deeply, you know, I think it was like around 2 years ago after the breakup, I thought I had healed it. And I was like, okay, did not heal it. It's like, this is obviously so raw and hard. So I do this father wound healing where I use archetypes of people. So like, I was like, I really want this like really open-hearted dad. He's like this like older man that is like super emotional, shares his emotions with me, like tells me he loves me, is really, really open about his love for me. Like one of the other things that I got clear on was like, oh wow, I'm not really comfortable with like platonic touch with men. Like even when I'm first starting to date someone, like if they're touching me a lot, I get really uncomfortable. And if I look back at my wounding, it's because my dad and I didn't have a lot of platonic touch. Like we never really had platonic touch, like cuddling with your dad or, you know, giving your dad a kiss on the cheek. Like those things like make me so uncomfortable even just to talk about. And so I rewrote a lot of my childhood where I had this new dad that was like so obsessed with me, my biggest fan, loved what I did, was super emotional. Like I saw him cry. We would have platonic touch. It was not weird for us to like, you know, sleep in the same bed. This is when I'm younger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like these are when I'm a child. Things like that where I needed a different type of dad. I needed a dad that was super emotionally open. And I always talk to you guys about changing the reflection. Like you can literally change the reflection in your algorithm. If you change your unconscious mind to believe something else, like you will see that show up. So anyway, I'm healing the father wound and I'm at my first Joe Dispenza retreat. This dad that I use in my meditations, he was this tall, white-haired man. He would wear a baseball cap. He was very soft-spoken. He was very loving. He was obsessed with me. He just loved me so much. So anyway, I go to my first Joe Dispenza retreat. This is like 2.5 years ago. I end up on the first day sitting next to this older man at lunch. And I just like waved to him for no apparent reason. And he was like, do you want to come sit with me? And so me and my friend at the time, because I was there with my friend, we go and we sit with this man and we have this beautiful heart-to-heart with him. He tells me that he has a daughter. She's also a coach. She also run retreats. Like it was just like we had a beautiful conversation. I was like, oh, that was so cute. We part ways. We exchanged contacts. And Joe Dispenza events are similar to Summit where like you could see somebody once and then you never see them again. So,
Yeah.
you know, you never know if you see somebody again, but like it's fine. A couple days later, you know, I run into him. Hi, whatever. It's beautiful. I think like 3 or 4 days in, he texts me and he's like, hey, I would love to get lunch with you. Can we have lunch? I have something to tell you. And I was like, sure. So we get lunch and we're sitting at this table. It's like with a lot of people, but me and him are just like locked in. He goes, Kristen, I had this really crazy meditation. And I was like, tell me about it. Because, you know, you're meditating for 8 hours a day at Joe Dispenza. He's like, tell me about it. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, so whenever I met you, I felt really connected to you. I just had this like soft spot in my heart for you. And I didn't know why. And then I was in a meditation and I was in outer space and my soul was just traversing through outer space. And then I look next to me in my meditation and you're there. And he goes, and so is my daughter.
Oh my gosh.
And then in the meditation, it felt like I was your dad. And me and my daughter went this way and you went that way. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like a little freaked out at first, honestly.
We're like, oh.
I was like, oh, like,
Sick.
I've just met this man. Like, I was
Yeah.
like a little taken back. And he was like, I don't know what it means. This is really weird for me to do. I would never just go up to a random young girl and like tell her this. And he's like 65, 70. So like this is an older man. And he's like, but I just want to let you know that I have this weird, unexplainable love for you. And if you ever need anything, I'm here for you.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate that. And again, I'm a little taken back at this point because
Yeah.
I'm like, it was just a weird situation. And so anyway, I go back. And
So at this point, it didn't like quite hit
no,
hard.
it didn't quite. It
Okay.
didn't hit. So then that night, I go back to my hotel room and I'm just laying in bed and I'm thinking about everything that I'm working through. At the time, I'm really deep in my breakup. So I'm really working on healing a lot around my breakup. I go back and I'm closing my eyes and I'm just traversing through my unconscious mind and thinking about, my breakup, and I'm thinking about like how I miss him and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, maybe I should do some inner child work right here. And then I'm like, inner child work. Okay, dad. And then I like start thinking about the dad that I use in my inner child meditations. And he looks exactly like this older man.
Oh my God.
This older man is tall. He has white hair and he is wearing a baseball cap. And I immediately start bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it was so weird because when I was doing these meditations a couple weeks before, I would wake up and I would feel like I knew that man. I would be like, that man is real. I know he was my dad in a past life. Like, I know that man was like,
Oh my God, I have the chills.
like, I know that my dad was real. Like, that was my dad in a past life. He's just not my dad in this life. Like, it brings me to tears now. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I felt like he was real. And I was like, oh my fucking God. I literally think that was my dad in past life. I literally think that was my dad in past life. So anyway, I go back up to the man a couple days later. I needed it like a second.
You find him though.
Yeah, I find him. I'm like, hey, can we talk? And I tell him everything. I said, I just went through a breakup. I've been doing a lot of inner child healing. I have a really bad relationship with my dad. I've been using this dad in my meditations and he looks exactly like you. I didn't put it together, but this is fucking crazy. This is the weirdest fucking thing ever, but I think you were my dad in a past life. And he starts crying and I start crying. He just hugged me and we just had like a moment. And it was a really, really crazy experience. He actually ended up giving me his baseball cap. We like text every now and then. I'm actually connected to his daughter online, which like, and we really do similar things. Like we are like really, really, really similar. I always text her and I'm like, girl, we got to meet. Like we're going to be best friends. But yeah, so I know that was not where I was going to take this episode.
Wow, that was beautiful though. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I will say, like, to just kind of round out this episode,
Yeah.
I know we didn't, go too deep. Just join Inner Work Alchemy if you want to heal it. But the thing is that after I healed a lot of that, I attract definitely different men in my life. Like the caliber of men that I attract is like really high level, intelligent, emotionally open men. Like it mirrors what I healed in me,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's the beautiful thing about doing this inner work, whether it's with your mother wound or your father wound or you're healing your inner child, is like, it's not just this cute, floofy mindset work that you do just for fun. It's literally changing the people, the reflections, the mirrors that you get in your life. And it makes a difference and it makes your life better. I don't know how else to say it.
And honestly, I feel like if anybody's listening to this and is doubting it, like, you should just try it once. And like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But like, it's not gonna not work.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think that, this type of work, this soul healing,
And this is coming from somebody who's very new to this world, I should also say.
it's like, I get it. Sometimes it's hard to invest in something that feels intangible. But like, this is this type of soul shit that like you're going to talk to your spirit guide with after. Like, these are the lessons that you came on earth to learn. That's how I look at my healing. I'm like, no, this is the most important thing I'm going to do in my life. All the things, the money I make, the podcast that I build, yes, of course, it matters. It's making an impact. People love it. And did I heal the wounds that I came here to heal? Did I overcome the things that I came here to overcome? Like, that's my relationship with me. Did I feel worthy amidst the childhood that I had? Like, that is the real soul work. And can you really put a number on that? I remember when I was making my first investment in a really big personal growth course, I was like, like $3,000. And I'm like, but to heal like my ancestral shit? You really wouldn't pay $3,000? Like, that's what I was saying to myself. I'm like, you really won't pay money to like heal these things that are holding you back? Like, that's wild.
I feel like some people, like, if you say, how much would you pay to like heal everything? Like, of course, I think most everybody would look at you and be like, yeah, I would pay anything. But I feel like a lot of people don't go through with it because they're afraid that it won't work. And I feel like aligning with like either a person or a course or something that like, there's fake people out there.
Totally.
For sure. But
I wasted a lot of money.
yeah.
But like, okay.
But I feel like that.
And then what?
I think that right there, your response is the key thing. It's like, okay.
So you're just not going to
So you're just going to give up and like
the fuck?
Yeah. There you
That's
go.
dumb,
Yeah, totally.
You're never going to get anywhere with that kind of attitude.
No.
So. Anyway, the father wound.
Love it.
To recap, look at your relationship with the opposite sex. Biggest thing. Look at your relationship with security, with money, with career, with men. Look at your codependency. Look at if you feel less than around authority. Those are going to be some good keys that you might have a father wound. Second, do some journaling, journal on your relationship with your dad, what you needed, what you didn't get, things like that. And then 3, which is the most important part because nothing shifts with the awareness, it actually shifts with the healing, is like, do some inner child work. You can buy my Inner Child 3.0 meditation. You can join Alignment Academy. You can join Inner Work Alchemy. I have lots of options for you to start at all different price points. But like, you actually have to go down into your unconscious mind and give yourself the thing that your inner child needed but never received. Like, that's the key. And that is when things are going to change.
Love it.
Yay.
So like, heck yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening to another episode, for hanging out with us. We had so much fun here with you. Tell us what you want to hear on the next episode. Let us know your thoughts, your comments. Comment, subscribe, follow, rate, review the podcast. Please, 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 from the bottom of my heart. It really, really helps the episode grow. And we will see you in another episode.
Bye.
Bye.